What are the best zombie games on PC? You can hardly take a step on Steam without zombie games clutching at your ankle, so it's a valid question. Don't dismiss the entire genre just because there's a load of brainless clones, though. Range from survival simulation to Lovecraftian co-op period pieces, and if you like, you can even take a shambling detour through tower defense and post-apocalypse Parker. Has everything an Undead enthusiast could ask for. We have the harrowing moral quandaries posed by The Walking Dead, the high-octane FPS action of Black Ops 3, and the traumatizing horror of Resident Evil. Whatever your decayed taste. Before of that, don't forget to subscribe our channel, then click the notification bell to updates the next video. And comment down below if you want a game should be included in top 10 list. Hi Cody fam. Here are best zombie games on PC in 2021. Please watch and enjoy. It is not an especially pretty or polished game, but Dead Island remains one of the best zombie games on PC. With its first-person shuffler bashing and 4-player co-op, it is tempting to compare Techland's first zombie game outing to Left 4 Dead 2, but it is what Dead Island borrows from Fallout 3 that makes it compelling. The island in question is a small one off the coast of Papua New Guinea, and its undead denizens are hungry to scupper your hard-earned holiday. Any narrative interest begins and ends here, but after you have waded through a dull first hour, this little Asenian island opens up to reveal a world of impressive scale. Still, a large world is meaningless if the zombies are not fun to mutilate. Thankfully, combat and RPG-like progression are engaging enough to keep you going. You will start with melee-based weapons, but later you will happen upon throwable knives and machetes, allowing for satisfying one-hit kills. Island and quasi-sequel Riptide getting the remastered treatment in Dead Island Definitive Edition. Some bugs are still buried away, left over from the original release. And don't hold your breath waiting for the sequel, either. Development has been troubled to say the least. One of the best co-op games and zombie games on PC that is not Left 4 Dead 2. Killing Floor 2 is a chaotic, frantic rush as you blow out undead brains to rambunctious heavy metal. Zombies of all shapes and sizes come at you thick and fast, making Killing Floor 2 an excellent pick-up-and-play co-op title. But as you devote more time to indulging in a spot of zombie bashing, Killing Floor 2 becomes a zombie game with an engrossing tactical element. Do you spend your blood-soaked resources now, or save them for a tougher future confrontation? Killing Floor 2's gameplay, most importantly, feels great to play as a wonderfully gory shooter with friends. Its best mechanic only just made it in at the last minute, too. If you're looking for story, then you'll be best served by the original State of Decay. However, the sequel does an admirable job of fleshing out the systems of the first game to make for a more satisfying open-world survival experience. Playing like an RPG. State of Decay 2 is an online zombie game that initially surprises with its permadeath. You will pick a protagonist from your community of survivors and take them out into the wild to find the necessary food, fuel, or drugs to keep the rest alive. Once they collapse into bed back home, or under the blows of the undead, you can take control of another character from your base with their own background, personality, and combat abilities. Whenever you choose to let another stranger into your growing base, you are letting in another playable character, another new story to write a middle and an end to. Despite an arguable abuse of the concept of early access stretching backer patience to breaking point, there is more than enough to standalone DayZ to remind you why the mod garnered all that goodwill. You will still endure that nervy survival phase, flitting from greenhouse to gas station in an effort to gather gear and avoid conflict. DayZ is one of those zombie games where the ravenous undead are not what haunts your every step. You will still have those Cormac McCarthy moments on the road, scanning a stranger for clues as to their intentions. Once you are subsisting on soda and scraps, however, DayZ opens up. That greenhouse becomes a proper farming plot. It is enough to keep you and passing traders alive. At this stage, banditry is no longer DayZ's default. There is potential for trading centers, large-scale farms, and stable villages. Unfortunately, we are a few updates away from the post-societal civilized dream, and over time the bugs and performance issues can chomp away at your enthusiasm. Is not just a survival sim anymore, it's also a living sim. Seeing as Left 4 Dead's spiritual successor Back 4 Blood is still some months away, a new game that critically follows the formula of co-op zombie slaying that the L4D series popularized will have to suffice. World War Z doesn't offer anything revolutionary of its own to that formula, but it's still heaps of fun when playing through its gauntlet-style campaign missions with friends, upgrading your kit over time, and watching rotting corpses explode under heavy machine gun fire. It's also a bona fide hit, having sold over 2 million copies through the Epic Games Store since launch. This is how you died. Project Zomboid tells you as you walk gingerly into the overrun American countryside for the first time. This is not going to end well. But you can drag out the inevitable for some time, eking out an isometric existence through the shrewd scavenging, food sourcing, and first aid skills you will have honed well from the best survival games. The entire map is open, and guidance is minimal, only good preparation and a tab open to the Zomboid wiki can save you. Once you have established a domestic base, the game becomes a matter of tense smash and grabs, weighing up potential loot against the chance of zombie encounters. Long-term survival means rebuilding rural America, constructing and maintaining farms, and adopting a defensive playstyle. Are about hitting the dead with something weighty before moving on to heavier artillery. Zomboid is about avoidance, careful management, and slow burn strategy. Has been in open development for nearly half a decade, so see what we make of it in our Project Zomboid Early Access review. But do not be put off by the Early Access tag, this is one of the richest zombie games in existence. In some zombie fiction the heart are not mindless, not exactly, but guided in their pursuit for brains by one bigger. Here, you are the hive mind, directing the pandemic from behind your keyboard. Developers Knotlip argue, the only way to survive the zombie apocalypse. For those who found the cause of lemmings too noble, Zombie Night Terror is a zombie game's twist on that puzzler's format. You are offered a sidelong view of the black and white action and given ways to influence it, guiding your unthinking chargers over the booby traps they would otherwise fall blindly into. Pesky humans will pick away at your numbers with buzzsaws, shotguns, and repurposed snow trucks, but you can bolster the ranks with a few would-be survivors. What's more, the undead can be altered into mutated beings that riff on Left 4 Dead, blowing themselves to bits and taking the living with them, or spitting globules of green acid which bubble away in stark contrast to the gray backdrops. The colorless world of this zombie game is just waiting to be covered in bright red blood. Honestly, you could elect any of Treyarch's Call of Duty games to this list because their zombie hard modes are the best around. Black Ops 4 had a very good zombies mode, however, the reason we've singled out Black Ops Cold War because it is a nice entry point for those who have not played zombies mode. It also has a fresh story, great tutorials, Easter eggs galore, and the original map is much easier for the classic survival modes. There's still tons to sink your teeth into, and the reception from those who have played it has been more positive than prior installments. While the first Resident Evil game delivers the bulk of its terror through its haunted house setting, the stunning remake of makes the zombies the stars of the show. These are the most horrifying undead shufflers the series has produced so far, with each one's warped, bloody face telling a story of how they got infected. Like in all the best zombie games, lurching horrors move unpredictably, snatching and swiping at you while you miss shot and panic. Shooting them in the head will only stun them for a second or two, allowing you to slip past, but you need to shoot them a few more times until their cranium explodes to guarantee they won't get back up. Alternatively, you can go for the limbs. A couple of pistol shots is enough to snap off an ankle, making them a lot less mobile and allowing you to carefully skirt around them. Scuff a shot, and it will still tear a chunk of flesh off your target, adding some gory gravitas to every spent cartridge. For fans of the indie game Untitled Goose Game, an upcoming mod by notorious modder Zombie Swaps. No list of zombie games would be complete without Resident Evil. You might have been scared out of your wits by Resident Evil 7 in VR, or found yourself repeatedly returning to the action-packed classic that is Rec 4, but you will still find plenty of frights in the game where it all started. Without the unnecessary complications tacked on to future sequels, is one of the best horror games around. Trapped in the famously labyrinthine Spencer Mansion, as Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine, ravenous zombies and dangerous mutations lie behind every corner in Resident Evil, often obscured or blocked by inventive environmental puzzles. Fixed camera angles intensify the sensation of claustrophobia, and your limited inventory keeps you feeling vulnerable. If that is not scary enough, you can always grab the remastered version released in 2015 on Steam. This is a remake of a remake, however, which adds new environments, scenarios, and surprises to ensure is every bit as scary as you remember it.